Would you pay $900 for dirty sneakers? This is the focus group.
It's the savvy side of 9 to 5. Listen.
Bueller.
Laugh. And learn.
Negotiation. This is what you do in business.
This is the focus group with Tim Bennett.
Staunch.
And John Nash.
Keep your clothes looking neat and clean.
We're all business. Except when we're not.
Hello, welcome to the focus group. Tim Bennett here, as always, with my good friend and co-host, Mr. John T. Nash. The T is for trouble, or talkative, or whatever. What do you want the T to be for today?
How about my middle name?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Thomas. Thanks, everybody.
And as we know, if I were in London, that's
that?
John Thomas is slang for a cock.
A John Thomas is?
Yeah, remember I told that story once? A friend of mine was giving me a dinner party in London. He's like, and we're here to honor our good friend John Thomas. Everybody starts laughing, and I'm like, what are you laughing about? Oh, darling, it's slang for a cock.
Like in the U.S., they call it a Johnson. You're
Yeah,
Johnson.
exactly. It's a John Thomas.
John Thomas. Oh, there you go. So, hey, thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow along with us during the week when we're not doing our live shows or our pre-records at focusgroupradio.com. All of our shows are there, and an archive is there as well if you want to catch up on stuff. As the spring and summer seasons are upon us and you're in your car sitting in traffic, you can listen to us. We have a podcast that's out there called TFG Unbuttoned as well, which is 20 minutes and doing quite well. John, that podcast just keeps going. It's like the Energizer Bunny.
It's the little train that could, the little engine that could. I think I can. I think it's because it's very informal, and it's also just 20 minutes. Usually we keep it to 18 to 20. And we hear from people that's the commutable.
It's right. If you're jumping on a bus or you're walking to work
You're
or you're
on Stairmaster, which, by the way, folks, 20 minutes on Stairmaster is not doing anything for you. It should be about 40, but that's just me.
Where did you get that from?
That is science.
20 minutes is better than nothing.
It's better than nothing, but it's...
You did 5 days at 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That's better than doing
You probably
no days.
compensate for it by having a donut or a cookie, and that's all all gone in that one cookie. Anyway.
You know, I wish we had the Charlie Brown sound effect with you when you start doing this.
Wah, wah.
Our friend Rick down in Philly, we always do that. Brian and I will do that with him all the time. Wah, wah. Oh, it'd be a shame if, it's always doom and gloom. Nothing's happy, John. Happy.
And they did that for SNL with that sketch, Debbie Downer.
Loved her.
Yeah, that was one of the best.
It'd be horrible if all those kids died of the plague. It is funny. So what?
So here we are, the end of April.
Yeah, already.
Yeah.
Did you?
Taxes have been paid. Spring is kind of here.
Did you get a huge tax refund from our president?
Oh, no, we were in a blue state. We didn't get refunds. This was all pay. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but certainly I wasn't surprised when the accountant called and said, "Here's the numbers." But the government's a funny beast. Like, here's one that you and I laugh about all the time: estimated tax payments.
It's ridiculous.
So you have to pay every quarter, or they penalize you, even though you have no idea what you're going to make.
I hope you're going to make money.
If you're a sole proprietor, you own your own company, you have an idea, but you really don't know 100% what that's going to be, and it's variable, but the government wants its money, and God forbid they actually pay interest on what they collected from you.
You know what? I'm going to talk to Carl. We have a friend at the IRS. I won't say his name. But you know his name. I
I
want to
do,
get him
yeah.
in trouble. But KZ, I'm going to ask him about that because I actually brought that up with the accountant. I said, you want to penalize me for missing a payment or something, or I didn't pay enough because I had use of the government's money. How about when I get a refund back and I overpaid $5,000? Are you giving me interest for the fact that you used my money?
I have read lately, because tax time comes around, right, and all these articles come out about what not to do. So there's an article I just read about a guy who did not file his income tax return. It's Texas, I think it is. It's either Texas or Atlanta for 5 or 6 years, filed 1 or 2 returns, and then didn't file a couple. When all was said and done, he owed the government $25 million. And
What?
3/4 of it to maybe even 3/5, or I'm trying to think of a ratio that's even higher, 70% to 30.
Or penalties?
Penalties, and because it accrues daily. And so then the guy defends himself in court, and he goes and he says, why should the government do this? And the judge goes, the government is a super creditor, and I've never heard this before. A super creditor has precedent over all other creditors. So if you owe money, government's first in line.
Really? I never heard that.
They have all this special status for how they can collect money and stuff. And, there was a time when they were throwing tea off an old wooden ship up in Boston, no taxation without representation, right? Well, you can't even do that now because estimated taxes, or it's coming out of your paycheck, ahead of withholding. Let's withhold that.
That's like if you live on the East Coast, all the tolls and toll roads and toll bridges.
It's been
Those
paid
things have
for.
been paid over a bazillion times. You don't have them out west. I had a friend of mine whose dad never paid taxes. Never paid taxes.
What's that be?
Didn't do it. Refused to do it. He said there was no legal reason for him to have to pay taxes. And he never paid. He's since died. But he never, because my friend had trouble when he went to go to college because he wanted financial aid.
Oh, they need the tax returns. They need.
We don't have them. My dad doesn't file them. He worked for himself in a construction business. It was all cash. So I don't know. Could you get away with that filing at all?
They claim you can, but eventually they catch up.
I mean,
with
if you were a
That's a
farmer
nightmare.
somewhere and you just were doing your own thing and everything was barter and cash.
Well, it would be hard to. How could you ever track that, right? Weren't there companies that you and I used to know about that dealt in barter? Like, so an airline would have passes and someone would have this, and they would actually transact. Mm-hmm. But then I think the government caught up with that and said you have to value the barter, and so even if you got the barter, you still had to actually claim it as a.
But you could lowball it, right? So there was
yeah.
a big thing in advertising. You could barter ad units, and so you could get an ad on television for a tenth of the price of what it might cost to buy a primetime ad. But you're right; it was all squiggly because you did have to pay something, but.
One of our favorite Saturdays at tax time many years ago, we had Funky Cole Medina.
Oh yeah.
We had the Afghani Princess Medina over on Sirius. She was one of our production assistants, and she was a call screener. So she comes in and she sits down. She gets the keyboard going. Hey guys, how are you? And we're getting ready to go live. And we're like, how you doing? Oh, I don't know. My dad had a bad week. The dad owned a pizza parlor, right?
Yep.
And the IRS had set up a pizza parlor somewhere in the
blocks away.
Somewhere, and no one knew that it was just a pizza parlor. And after 9 months of running the business, they decided they knew how much her father was probably making. So they used that as a litmus test, and they went back and they looked at all the. Talk about snake.
They're doing that with laundromats now, too. They do coin-operated laundromats.
Talk about snaky,
They're
right?
trying to figure out if you're actually claiming as much, and of course, they aren't.
Coin op, no.
So they get caught, but I don't know. There's so many other things the government can be chasing.
Did you watch the documentary on Netflix called Studio 54?
No.
I would highly recommend it. It really is a good look into a period that's long since
I
passed.
can't afford Netflix, John. Netflix went away. Subscription went away.
Why?
It was $9 a month. I couldn't afford it. Taxes. I have to re-up it. I didn't.
That's the one I would definitely keep. I mean, you and I got Hulu for 99 cents.
Now, are
a
you
month.
watching Hulu? I can't get the Hulu on anything. I can't get it on. We paid $12 for it for the year or something, but I can't get it on the Comcast.
On Apple? It should be on Apple TV.
Oh, is that how I got to get it?
Oh, boy. Tech to the rescue. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it's an app. You got to download it for the Apple TV.
I hate apps. I don't like apps.
And actually,
like using apps.
Hulu's not bad. And if you do download it, make sure you watch The Handmaid's Tale, at the very least season 1.
Really?
Don't do it all at the same time. It's pretty dystopic. What were we talking? Oh, so Studio 54. So there's a scene in the movie where someone's being interviewed, and they were talking about how the IRS was slowly closing in on Studio 54 because they didn't have a liquor license. They had something called a catering agreement. So every night they had a catering agreement which would allow them to serve liquor. But one guy said, I should have known something was going on when around midnight they came around and they changed all the paper, those receipt rolls that the old cash registers used to have that someone came around and dutifully changed them all and took them away. And that's because paper receipts were also handed over to the government. So all the previous transactions that were made, either they were the ones they counted for revenue, or they played like the register opened at a certain hour, and that's what they counted for revenue. So there's a lot of. It's how they got Al Capone, right? Taxes, right?
I wonder when I go to a dry cleaner and the register's just open. Dig out of the till. Or you could be Amish. If you go down to Philadelphia, the Reading Terminal, the Amish
cash.
are all there, and it's all a yellow pad and a number 2 pencil.
Yep.
Scratch out. Who knows what they have? I wonder if the Amish have to pay taxes. I think we could be Amish.
You and I wanted to start our own church a while ago.
Yeah, Church of the Focus Group.
Church of the Focus Group. Yeah, you have to get socks. You have to,
That could be a good thing. So, hey, thanks to the boys in the booth. We've got Garrett and Steve joining us today. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing well.
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Very good, thank you. Yeah.
Hanging in there.
Hanging in there.
As always. You heard our tax complaints, So anyway, Mr. Nash, what caught your eye this week?
What caught your eye? Here's what Tim and John found.
It's a short one, but I never lose interest in the Magic Kingdom, whether it be on the West Coast in Disneyland or Florida's Disney World. I just saw this at random, though, and I kind of smiled because someone finally noticed this. On a recent trip to Disney World, a writer noticed one peculiar thing about the park. There were no mirrors above the sinks in any of the bathrooms throughout the Mouse House, throughout the Magic Kingdom.
I wonder why.
Well, there's an answer for that. So she actually contacted, a woman named Jessica Mitchell, who's the owner of Destination Magic Kingdom. I'm not sure what that is, actually, but there is a reason. It says, because it helps to reduce the instances of vandalism in the facilities, which cannot be monitored by camera. So on the video, we showed like one bathroom. You'd think there was a mirror behind those doors, right? The little wooden doors on the right. But no, it's just decoration. It's like Rapunzel's castle.
I bet everybody yanks at them.
And the second, it makes for a speedier trip to the restroom when people aren't holding up the line for the sink while they check their hair, makeup, sunscreen, or sunburn, and so on. The Magic Kingdom does provide you a full-length mirror on the way out. So, like, you could at least have a quick glimpse of yourself. But I just thought it was one of those really oddball things that someone sat down.
So
Disney
throughput.
Yeah. Someone sat down at Disney and said, hey, guys, those mirrors, they had a process to do this, and now there's no mirrors in the bathrooms at Disney World.
I wonder what the issue is. I never found out what the issue was in Martha Stewart's house. Remember, I went to Martha Stewart's for dinner.
Did she not have mirrors?
I went to her house for dinner, and there was only 6 of us. And we had gone first to her gym. We took a tour of her gymnasium. And one of the other women came out. She had a separate facility for men and women. Comes out, and she said, was there a mirror in your bathroom? I said, I don't know. I didn't notice. So I went back in. I said, no, there isn't. She says, I wonder why there's no mirror in the gym. She goes, I'll do it inside. So we go in the house. She immediately asks Martha's assistant for the bathroom, and she goes in. She goes, there's no mirrors in the bathroom. So we wanted to ask, and nobody did. Next thing I know, she's near by the stainless steel refrigerator trying to do her lipstick.
In the reflection of the refrigerator,
in the kitchen. But we just asked. We said, why are there no bathrooms? Why are there no mirrors in the bathrooms? And we're so glad you're here.
I'm sorry. We're so glad you're here. The non-answer, right? The non-answer.
Thanks for joining us.
So mine was simple and short and sweet.
Mine is simple too. Now I thought this was fake, but I did see it in a couple places. Maybe it was fake, but if it is fake, it's still a good story. So the title is Cops Get a Call for a Noise Complaint at a Bachelorette Party, but the bachelorettes think the responding officers are strippers. So this happened out west. There was a bunch of rowdy bachelorettes, and they did a Airbnb. And there was a call for noise complaints. So these 2 cops get the call. And the one guy says, he goes, let me put this in context. He says, my partner and I decided a couple years ago, they're both in their mid-30s, to start lifting weights, just to do something else to build up their bodies. They felt, they were both married with kids, and they wanted to get themselves back in shape. And they thought as police officers, they should stay in shape too as well. So he said, we both look pretty buff, and we actually went into an amateur weightlifting competition, and they finished in the top 5.
Not bad.
So he and his partner, and it sounds like his partner was African-American, he says, I'll call him Chocolate Thunder. They said they arrive at the house, and there's all this noise going on. So they ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell. Nobody's answering. Finally, the door flies open. He says there's a hammered 20-something brunette there screaming, they're here! And the other girl, they said, equally as intoxicated, goes, but they're early. Why are they so early? So she's screaming they're early. So they kept saying, ladies, we received a call about a noise complaint. And
So they think they're in character.
he says, as this happens, the bride comes rushing at Chocolate Thunder and wraps her legs around him, jumping up and down, like humping him, like with her legs around him. He says, the bride starts yelling, I can't believe you girls. I told you no strippers. None of this better be put on Snapchat. Johnny's going to be pissed, her fiance. So they're struggling with her, and they keep saying to her, no, we're not strippers. We promise you're not strippers. You need to calm down. They said, we can't calm down. You're here. You're here to make us happy. As the other one was trying to dump tequila down the one cop's throat, they said the maid of honor came with no pants on and a tank top. They couldn't quite understand that. And they said, you're turning us on, baby, and shoved a joint in his mouth. So the music's going, it's pumping. The cops get on their little walkie-talkie, said we need backup and preferably 2 female officers.
Oh, that would have, cooled the temperature down, right?
So he says these 2 female officers came in, and apparently, by the way they described them, they said there was no mistaking that this was the real thing. These 2 female cops show up, and they said within 15 seconds, the girls are like, oh, my God, you mean you're really the police? And they're like, yeah. And they got all upset, and they said, we're so sorry. They were afraid they were going to get arrested because of the marijuana and the booze. And they're like, no, just quiet and calm it down. So they kind of get a chuckle out of it. And as they're there, the doorbell rings, and there are the 2 officers that were supposed to be there showed up fine.
I wonder who looked better.
And they said they looked better. So they said, suffice to say, those officers were there looking ready to party, but we had it all over them. When we got back to the station, 20 minutes later, I was smelling of weed and tequila. I took off my vest and out floated a $1 bill. All the other cops in the area looked at me and just laughed. When Thunder took off his vest, a $5 bill floated out. He looked at me and said, at least we still got it.
And he got a 5 to a 1, right?
So
You can't make that story up.
You can see that happening.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
They're
yeah.
here, but they're early.
Because the longer they say we're the cops,
No,
and
you're
if you
not.
think they're in character, the girls are going to get crazier and crazier. Oh my God, that's a good caught your eye. Bathroom mirrors at Disney World and Bachelorette's gone crazy, right?
So here's our business birthday.
Everyone does celebrity birthday greetings, but the Focus Group is the only show in the universe that celebrates business birthdays.
Happy 70th to John Wendell Thompson, born today, April 24th in 1949. He's the chairman of Microsoft.
I thought I recognized the name. Okay.
Recognize him? He before then, he worked for IBM for a number of years. He also worked for a company called Symantec, Symantec.
Oh, yeah. Semantics, big one, yeah.
He also helped lead the search for Microsoft's new CEO. He was born in New Jersey, went to college in Florida, and then went to MIT. He also did some work with Ducks Unlimited as an advocate for outdoor conservation. And in September 2002, he was appointed to the National Infrastructure Advisory Committee, which makes recommendations regarding security of critical United States infrastructure. He also purchased 20% of the Golden State Warriors basketball team in 2005. And in April 2006, Forbes said he was the 8th most highly compensated executive in the U.S. Guess what he was making a year?
He was the 8th.
This is while he was at Symantec.
He was the most
the president.
compensated.
He ranked 8th in the
most-
8th.
Well, I'm going to say he was pulling down like 3.5 million. I'm probably terribly wrong, right? 17 something?
71.8 million.
71. See, these numbers are obscene. You don't need beyond.
They'd have loved you in HR. Let's give him $3 million. I think you probably had $3 million to use the plane.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
I think the CEO of the place we used to work at made more than $3 million.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Stern, how much was Stern making?
Yeah, right.
$500 million, something ridiculous.
Garrett, excellent
stock's worth
point.
3
Thank
cents.
you. I need to have a brain dump
Yeah, you
done
got-
because
yeah,
you're
done.
right. Because Mr. Hollywood over at the old...
Say $3 million.
No, it's Austin. 1 million. Everybody laughs.
Anyway, he retired from his post in 2009 of Symantec. Is that how I say it?
Symantec.
What do they do? Software?
They were software and security stuff, yeah.
So in 2004, he took some time off. In 2014, he was appointed chairman of Microsoft, succeeding Bill Gates. Prior to being named chairman, he was a member of the board. He said he was really excited because he felt that Microsoft is one of the true iconic companies in the USA. He was a big supporter of Obama and actually was up to be considered as Secretary of Commerce in the Obama administration, but he ended up taking the Microsoft job instead. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi appointed him to the Financial Crisis Inquiry Commission. So
But
happy
I'm gonna
birthday, John Wendell Thompson.
Let me go back to his salary. What decision does he make on any given day, or let's say 20 decisions, that's worth that much money? You know what I'm getting at, right?
I couldn't tell you.
We want to switch the toilet paper down to this grade from this grade. Good, good. Did you do a committee on that?
You know,
what are the results
yeah.
of that committee? Yeah, you know what I'm getting at? Like, I don't. What gets 71 million? What their decision making out of somebody?
And I don't.
It's just.
I would see that being. I'm curious as to what Steve Jobs used to make.
You know, he had a notoriously.
Although Microsoft probably is a different, right? That's more business to business, and
When
Apple.
Jobs
is
came
more
back to Apple, he took a
business to
nominal
consumer.
salary, and I think they paid him
A buck?
Well, there was some deal. It was a stock deal of some sort, and he was paid like $1 or something.
Trump apparently only getting paid a buck.
Who?
Trump.
Out of Trump organization?
No, for the president. I think he said he was donating all his money or something. I don't know. I read that somewhere.
Said it.
It says Steve Jobs earned $1 a year.
It did, yeah. So I remember
Yeah, but there was
hearing
this
that.
whole big stock thing that
Is
was.
that why he only had one pair of pants and one turtleneck?
And he had a closet full of New Balance. He had the same exact pair of sneakers. He had like 20 pair. He would wear through one, and he would pull. And he insisted that New Balance keep manufacturing that shoe.
Well, it made life easy, right? You got up, you knew what you were wearing.
You know his uniform: black turtleneck, jeans, sneakers, done.
I'm almost there. I wear this all the time.
Welcome. Get there fast, son.
Is that what you do?
You'll love it. Well, if you only have 5 shirts in your closet and 2 pairs of pants, it's almost decided for you. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Hey, a lot of you know that a friend of ours here and a partner of ours here on the show is Deep Discount. So be sure to head over to focusgroupradio.com and click on the Deep Discount logo. You'll see Sharky the Shark there,
The shark.
and he'll guide you to savings.
And he'll guide you to you anthropomorphize the shark. He'll guide you to savings. Sharky says, "Save today." One of our listeners has promised a puppet that will
Yes,
go.
I saw that.
That will go all the way down, so I can do the puppet down here, and I can go. Sharky says, "Listen to Tim for this timber. Shiver me timbers." Tim says savings are big today. All right,
But other than that, it's supposed to be own your passion. That's the tagline. Although I gave it guide you to savings. Own your passion.
Own your passion.
At Deep Discount. And so they've got a Blu-ray and more sale going on right now.
Blu-ray, buy more, save more.
Buy more, save more. And John, what did you? I was not shocked when I saw what you picked.
Yeah, so I could have, I had about, I don't know, I was going through the pages, and every single page I'm like, oh, I could buy this, I could buy this. And they have some great prices for Blu-rays right now. And, you know, I always say Blu-ray does actually look better. It's better than streaming, too. It's a lot more data for the TV to sparkle on. So, you were not shocked because what I chose was, there's a new Star Trek out. It's a new weekly TV show, and it's called Star Trek Discovery. But in the world of streaming and paywalls, you have to have CBS All
I heard
Access
about
to
that.
get this. But they release, after the season goes by, they release it on DVD and Blu-ray. So I recommend Star Trek Discovery Season 1 on Blu-ray. It's $37.64. I love the series.
You seen any of it?
Yeah, I
Any
watched
good?
the whole first season, and we're almost done with the second season, which Bob said this the other night. We were watching the episode. The episode ends. He sits there for a minute, and he goes, this is a really well-made show. He goes, this is a really well-made show. And I
I think he
couldn't.
does that to keep you quiet.
I could not agree more. The writing it just gets better and
Are
better.
the stories the same as the old?
No, they're doing the same. So you remember old TV old TV shows, every week was a new experience. Nowadays, the stories are
arc.
like it's an arc over 14 episodes or something. So in the tradition of modern TV, the Star Trek Discovery Season 1 is about the Klingon War. And it takes the whole season to get through that. This new season is about something called the Red Angel, which is fascinating. But they've done a great job. I just recommended it because visually it's stunning. And one other thing I would say is there have been a lot of people complaining about the look of this new Star Trek. It's supposed to take place before the original show that we all grew up with Kirk and Spock. it looks significantly different. And people online are, it should look the same as the old show, which was made in the 60s, right?
With cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, and I would argue that
Lasted 2 years.
we're a lot more sophisticated as consumers. We have phones that, to have the show look like it was done with tubes and wires, right? Doesn't make sense. So I say Star Trek Discovery Season 1. Give it a shot.
I also picked sci-fi.
Which I am stunned by.
Queen of Outer Space. It's my pick. Starring Zsa Zsa Gabor, Eric Fleming, and Paul Birchleys. Have you ever seen this?
There's a line in that movie.
The Queen.
She's on Mars or
I hate that Wicked Queen.
yes, I hate that Wicked Queen.
So it's a camp classic. It's breaking news from space, it says. The bad and intrepid captain and his men have landed on a planet where males are outlawed. The good is some women are eager to break the law. Queen of Outer Space is a milestone of movie camp. So essentially, so they say Zsa Zsa Gabor plays the gossamer-gowned scientist, and her curvy cohorts eye the men and like what they see. So, I mean, the other thing about it is they essentially built the movie out of the parts bin of a bunch of other other movies. They said if you look at it, they said this bijou bauble has sets and costumes from The Flights of Mars, Forbidden Planet, World Without End. Have fun spotting them.
So in other words, you should buy this for the camp, but also to look through what Hollywood they dug through the old studio sets.
And
right?
it's on Blu-ray, and I haven't seen it in years. I would love to see it. I don't have it. It's $15.19 on Blu-ray at deep discount. Wouldn't that be fun to have? Have you seen it?
No, and my friend Ed Roland has the clip you were just talking about. He now sends that as a GIF now and then. And I hate that Wicked.
Came out in 1958. It's only 80 minutes. What kind of storyline? 80 minutes.
You nailed it.
I love Lucy.
Men land on Mars. They're outlawed.
And the women want to break the law.
Break the law. Keep them there.
What was the release?
The new release this week is Shameless. I believe Shameless is on Showtime. The complete 9th season on DVD. I can't believe this show has gone to 9 seasons.
I've never seen it.
Have you watched? Are you guys Shameless fans at all? Do you ever? No.
Some of the sex scenes in it are pretty hot.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's a lot of like taboo-y kind of stuff.
A lot of drinking too.
Yeah, it's like a dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
And everyone likes to have a lot of sex, but
So
it's
it
not
says
about sex, but it's just
It
their
says
lives.
drama comedy. I mean, is there comedy?
It's kind of like a Fargo, kind of like a dark comedy,
black comedy.
Yeah.
And how appropriate Garrett's comparison is because William H. Macy plays the head of the family, and he was in Fargo. So yeah, Shameless is the complete 9th season on DVD, and that's the release of the week. So to recap, it's the Buy More, Save More Blu-ray sale. And remember, Deep Discount's tagline is Own Your Passion. You can get to Deep Discount by going to focusgroupradio.com, clicking on the Deep Discount Sharky. I recommended Star Trek Season 1 on Blu-ray. Star Trek Discovery, Season 1 on Blu-ray. Give it a shot. I like it. Tim.
Queen of Outer Space.
Outdid me with Zsa Zsa. Was it Zsa Zsa?
Zsa Zsa.
Zsa Zsa Gabor, Queen of Outer Space. And the new release this week is Shameless, the complete 9th season on DVD. What do we say, Garrett?
Thanks, Deep Discount.
We're going to take a super quick break, and when we return, we have some shop talks for you, so stay with us.
You're listening to The Focus Group with Tim and John. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com. Focus on the savvy side of 9 to 5 with The Focus Group.
Try, really try.
Listen, laugh, and learn with Tim and John.
I never try anything. I just do it.
Hey, welcome back to the Focus Group. Tim Bennett here with my good friend and co-host, Mr. John Nash. And we thank you for joining us here every week. Be sure to head over to focusgroupradio.com to learn more about us and see other things, the pictures. Also, our social media is all branded that as well.
Mm-hmm. Focus Group Radio.
So the shop talks, we have 2 shop talks this week. I opened up the teaser. I saw this in a couple of places, but the headline is Gucci's distressed sneakers sell for $870, and they look like there's something out of the Goodwill. So if you're watching on the video, we've got pictures of what these sneaks look like.
They're dirty.
They're dirty. They're filthy.
Well, they're used. They look used, right?
So they're called the Screener Sneak, and they're like an ode to the 70s. And The cheapest one is $870. Then there's a high top version, which is available for $930, and then an Art Deco with a chain, crystal chain, for $1,590. I kind of thought this was like buying ripped when people buy ripped jeans.
Oh, the distressed clothing. I'll distress it myself. I'll take an X-Acto blade of the jeans and rub it over rocks and do whatever else. But
would you ever spend that?
No,
Would
no,
you
no,
ever
no,
spend
no.
that kind of money for a pair that looked new?
No, I would not. No. So right off the top, we're dealing with a very different consumer here, right?
I was wondering who buys these. Well, first of all, who buys Gucci sneakers?
Great question.
Hello?
Yeah. Well, I've never. I don't think of Gucci as a yeah.
There's a whole subset of people that are super into sneakers. They wait online for days to get in and buy the.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They don't even wear them. They just take pictures of them for Instagram. Maybe wear them one time and then put them back in their closet.
I wonder what that's.
But some of them go up in value, so they're sort of like a baseball card collector.
I know the Air Jordans are like that. People are really, 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 really protective of their Air Jordans, and they will buy limited edition versions and stuff like that.
Well, if you had some of the original Nikes with
Yeah.
the gold swoop and the color blue they had, those were selling for outrageous numbers. Any old sneakers I had that I forgot about in the closet, they've actually all dry rotted. So I don't know how I guess you'd have to keep them.
Oh, they have like lucite boxes for them and stuff like that. Yeah.
Because I had a great pair. I thought they were vintage. I was going to wear them, put them on. The soles fell off.
Well, in the case of this Gucci thing, Twitter users, of course, God bless Twitter for this.
Was it Dave Rubin?
They chimed in. They chimed in, and they're like calling them ridiculous and filthy looking. And one guy goes, "They basically look like something you'd buy at a Goodwill for $4. If I want a pair that looks like that, I will go to the Goodwill." I have to agree with that.
I thought I thought they were great, but then of course some fashion rag,
Net-a-Porter,
right, said they'd look good with anything from dresses to
denim. I love the way they gloss over the entire absurdity of a sneaker that has been beat up and stepped on and sold as new, and instead dress it up.
Dress it up.
Net-a-Porter.
I wouldn't even wear those if somebody gave them to me. I think they're ugly.
All right, the game I play when I read this and I looked at this is you and I are the ad agency or the marketing team that are going to be selling the dirty sneakers. And this goes on. So you could imagine the agency or anybody involved in this sitting down. Let me look at it. Okay, well, this is brand new. Oh, but it looks dirty. It's got to look used, the whole bit. And you're stuck selling it, right? So what do you come up with?
We'll build it and they will come.
I guess you'd go back to your creative brief. You'd be like, "Can we look at the one with the crystal chain? That has some traction, right?"
Well, there's all this. Maybe Garrett was hitting on it too. There's all of this. They're kind of calling them the dad sneaks of the '70s, with the big heel on them. They're kind of clumsy looking. They're really ugly shoes. We did a story about it a couple of years ago, but those are all coming in vogue too. Those old ugly sneakers that we used to wear. But not like the runner things you'd see grandma in pink. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe this is just the next step of that. So we're
I don't know what else is there to say about this one as a shop talk, other than I just feel bad. I feel bad for the marketing team that has to sell the dirty sneakers that are sold as brand new. Yeah.
This next one I thought of you, John, because I could see you doing this. Maybe not this restaurant. So this couple has eaten at the same Wichita restaurant 6 nights a week for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
6 nights a week.
15 years.
The last 15 years.
And they get the same thing every night.
Get the same thing every night. Sit at the same table every day.
So the couple is Ron and Diana Watson, and they love the restaurant, the Texas Roadhouse.
Have you been to one of those?
No.
It's just like a Long John's, like a Longhorn Steakhouse or something.
So it's a franchise?
Outback. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is. So so if you're watching and there's a picture of them there, what does she get? She says she orders one particular thing.
So she orders something called the Roadkill. This is so Texas, and we love Texas, but hey.
Well, it's Wichita.
A chopped steak topped with, Wichita, Kansas, and it's the Texas Roadhouse. A chopped steak topped with sautéed onions and mushrooms, plus a house salad with ranch dressing, no tomatoes, and a baked potato, no salt. He gets
He gets a barbecued chicken breast. If he's feeling a little crazy, the pork chop well done. Plus, he has mashed potatoes with brown gravy, an iceberg salad, Italian dressing. He's recently discovered sweet potatoes.
Turns out he likes them.
Likes them.
Yeah. So the other thing that I took away from this is that this is the article said it about 3 times. I thought I misread this. Did you catch on this? This is the only meal they eat every day.
1 meal a day.
Eat 1 meal a day.
And they get here for the early bird special at 3 o'clock, so they save money.
It's like, so then it's $9.95 for the dinner, the whole bit. Now, there was something went on years ago where I guess they always used to get served these special rolls.
Well, they have rolls, free rolls. They stopped doing that because they said they gained weight.
Yeah.
But they, so they get there. They arrive between 3 and 3:15 to take advantage of the restaurant's early bird special, which is available from 3 to 5 Mondays through Thursdays. So your full meal is $9.49. But he says they only spend about $22 a day. He figures on food. So he said that's better than going home, cooking food, doing the shopping for groceries. You're making a face. I know you're a cooker. You're a home cooker.
I like making well, and if you want to be healthy, you got to cook your own meals. But
back to healthy again.
Yeah, I don't think healthy figures into the roadkill meal and the Texas. But they claim that he said I couldn't do any better if I bought the groceries myself, and that's why I'm making the face. If you spent $22 a day over a 5-day period, you could do better actually.
But he's saying it's time. Whether he wants to cook, he wants somebody to weigh in on him? They don't want dishes. They don't want to do dishes. They don't want to do cleanup. So 22 is not bad. I don't know, but that's early, I think, to eat. But I guess you're pretty hungry by 3 o'clock.
And then the one day that they don't eat at the Texas Roadhouse, they go to a place called Hog Wild on West Street, wherever that is, and they get some food to go. And here's the other kicker: they go home and they watch something called Black Sheep Squadron.
Yeah.
Is that my imagination, or is that like a TV show from the 80s or 90s? Or was that Baba Black Sheep?
You're right. I think it's an old
Black Sheep. It's probably
old on reruns,
like on Cozy TV or Antenna TV or something.
TV Land or something.
The rolls are an issue, right?
Yeah. My favorite one was the last one where they were giving away a gift card.
Oh, this is good. Yeah.
So at Christmas time, they discovered there was a promotion going on at the restaurant. Of course, everybody knows them there at the restaurant. For if you bought a $200 gift card, you got a free appetizer serving of shrimp at every visit throughout the year. So they bought the card.
They didn't have this couple in mind when they bought the.
So what did they do, John? They bought the card, and then what? I thought this was just crazy.
They go and they get shrimp every day, and he figures he is going to be eating. We're going to eat 1,560 shrimp this year.
Right.
So I think they get 5 shrimp on a skewer. He cuts them up so each of them get 5 pieces.
2.5.
2.5 pieces.
2.5 shrimps.
And there you go. And then they mentioned the early bird specials from 3 to 5, and that's meals are $9.49.
There was a time I think I probably could have eaten at McDonald's every day. Maybe I had lunch there every day. I don't know. When I first started working, did you eat at McDonald's a lot?
No.
Did you ever eat at McDonald's a lot? High school?
No. High school, maybe. I mean, you and I, that was a treat
So
for
when you
us.
got out of school, what did you do for food when you moved to New York?
We cooked at home.
You cooked at home then?
Yeah. Or we did takeout. Sometimes takeout was usually Mexican. Or
It wasn't a place that you guys would just notoriously go, like, let's go go get a taco or let's go. No.
Nowadays, if I had to pick a place, that's a good question. What was it? Well, there's one last thing here about his thing here. No, we touched on the roles, and he's a vet, right? So
there's a military discount too.
He gets that, and so he's a Vietnam vet, and he finds the consistency of the Texas Roadhouse soothes him because he still suffers from PTSD from being in combat.
Right, and he sits at that particular table, so he can see who's coming in and who's leaving.
He watches the door.
Like I used to do that at Sirius.
Important, yeah.
I want my back to the door. He drinks water with lemon. She likes a beer.
She likes a beer, yeah, exactly. Where'd you find this one?
I was flipping around through some regional papers. I was going to use it as a caught my eye, but I thought it'd be good for our shop talk.
Okay, so now we've touched upon a few things. A couple weeks ago, we talked about a woman who retired to a ship.
Yep.
She sailed the same ship, and she basically, whatever money she had was being put into her spending every day on that boat. All the meals are taken care of, cruising the world. Then there was the guy, I think Jay sent us the article about the guy who basically retired to a Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn, which I love.
Because he bought some kind of special thing where the room rate's locked in.
It's cheaper than a nursing
home. Now we have this couple who eats at the same restaurant every night, 6 nights a week for, $9.45, whatever they do, their $22 thing. It's fascinating, isn't it, that people develop these kind of patterns?
Well, I think we should have some sort of story.
Well, we kicked it off with Uncle Sam taking our ability to do.
No, but don't you think I don't know. I think I need to have something like this, some order in my life. I'll figure it out.
Order in your life? This is not order. This is habit.
But it's order. It'd be like if you knew it's a Steve Jobs thing. I'm going to wear a pair of jeans and a black turtleneck. What are you doing tonight for dinner? I don't have to think about it. We know what we're doing tonight for dinner. We're going to the
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. I'm getting roadkill. You're going to get the
barbecue chicken. Yeah, or maybe you'll live and get the pork chop. Yeah. Oh. Hey, look, I'm kind of the opinion. I'm in the Steve Jobs camp when it comes to clothing. Look nice.
But isn't that the same sort of thing? There's somebody that habitually does the same thing every day.
In this case, it's because it's time saving. And he did err on the side of saying this is time saving, but
Right. I don't know. I just think we need to find something. It's going to be the mid-year. Do you guys have something you do habitually? Like there's something you drink or eat every single day?
Maybe for 6 months or something, and then you get bored of it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Garrett breathes in my farts every day. That's our habit.
Garrett's going to have to start wearing one of those masks we see our friends.
Do you guys eat lunch at the same place before the show every day? Yeah.
Today was a break in habit. Tim's train was late. We had a Japanese food at Penn Station.
Damn Japanese restaurant gave us one napkin.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Domo.
It was a strange experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think if we ate there, but I think if we ate at the TikTok, I think if we ate there every single day,
you'd have your table.
We'd have our own table. We like this table.
They'd know you. They'd say hi.
We get the same thing every time we go.
We did have a waitress who became very familiar with us, and we had to break our pattern because she'd be like, "Hey, honey, how are you? So good to see you. My kids are going to give me."
She's gone apparently. She's. I don't see her there. Do you?
She might be on a different schedule. Let's not say she's gone.
I think you got her fired.
I didn't get anybody fired. Listen,
you talked to her too much. You're too yatty with her. You're talking to her. You knew too much about what was going on. She wasn't waiting on her table.
Then there was that time.
She actually sat down to talk to you.
And then there was that time she asked us to leave the tip in cash.
Yeah.
Which I thought was mysterious, but whatever.
Well, she's,
I don't know how that worked. Anyway, last week of April, 4th week of the 4th month of the new year. Thank you, Garrett. Yeah.
You're like, what's his name? Brian Williams. He's like, it's the 782nd day of the Trump administration.
Does he do that?
Yeah. Every day he counts down how many days it's been.
Oh, my God. I'd lost count. You stop after day 50, right? And let me know when it's time to vote again. Hey, thanks for joining us today. We want to thank our friends over at Deep Discount for being a part of the Focus Group. Go to Deep Discount by going to focusgroupradio.com, clicking on the shark logo, and start saving. Released this week is Shameless on DVD, the new season. Well, the last season, I should say. Let me correct myself and tell you it is season 9. And it's a buy more, save more Blu-ray sale. We want to thank the guys in the booth, Garrett and Steve. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
And as we always say, don't text and drive, arrive alive, and we will see you here next week. Have a good one.
It's The Focus Group with Tim Bennett and John Nash. Accessible on all platforms. Subscribe, like, and rate us on your platform of choice. Learn more at focusgroupradio.com.